Okay, and now I want to introduce you one thing is about the. Wait me a moment. Now I want to introduce with you the data type. Okay, we need to understand the type of the data because that is quite important for your Python programming language. Because we need to using this data to conduct our data analytics. Okay, so data is anything, just like you will have a string data, just maybe that will be the Chinese word or English word. That is a kind of the data. We will call this kind of the data string. Another is maybe it's number. And number, we have the integer, and we will floating point numbers. We have others. So there has so many type of the data, and we needed to understand this one. So the data type is just an attribute of the data. And why we needed to introduce with you that. Maybe some of you have my class about the web design. Maybe in the previous years you enter into my class, I introduce you with PHP or the other things. And when we're using PHP, you can find out we don't need to define that is an integer or that is a floating point number. But in Python, they really care about what kind of the number, what kind of the string. They needed to understand the type of the data, right? Why? That is because Python is mainly for our data analytics. And if today we want to conduct the data analytics, and then here has maybe 1,000 pieces of the data, and each data is 1 byte, and other option is each data is maybe 4 bytes. So that is 4 times, right? So we try to using a small data type to store our data. Okay, for example, if today we want to store the floating point number, and we needed to store the integer, which one will spend more memory? Which one will spend more storage? Floating. Why do you think the floating point number will spend more space? Because they have a point.
Yes.
But if today that is an integer, that is just all the number. So that is really easy. But if today this is a floating point number, we need to know where is the point. Where is the point? And that will waste our memory about our computer. So that is a reason why we need to really care about the data type. Okay. So now I will introduce you with the main data type in Python. The first one is number. Number that can divide into the integer and the float. This is just really easy. One is integer and other is floating point number. And the integer is just like that. We will give a number, and that is an integer, and other is a floating point number. And the second one is string. String is just like a sentence or a paragraph. That will be the string. And the string can be any language. That can be English, can be the Chinese, can be other Spanish. That can be anything. And when you want to use the string, you need to notice that we need to using the quote. You can use in the double quote or the single quote. Just if we put something into the string, if we put something into the quote, that will be the string. So I want to ask you a question. If today I put a number into the string, just like A is equal to double quote 20. So now A is a number or a string? String. Okay. So this will be the string. Why this will be string? Because here has a double quote. Okay. Here has a double quote. If maybe that is truly a number, but the under in the double quote, and we will call this as string. Okay. And I want to ask you a question is, maybe B is 3. And I want to print A times B. What's the answer? Arrow. Arrow. Other answer? Other answer? Just arrow. If you think that is an arrow, please raise your hand. Okay, if you think it's 60, please raise your hand. If you think that is 20, 20, 20, please raise your hand. No one thinks that is 20, 20, 20. Okay, but if you are curious about this issue, we just go to our Jupyter and we can ask them. A is 20, B is 3, and we want to print A times B. 20, 20, so I am correct. I am correct. Okay, so I just want to let you know, maybe traditionally when we have a programming language course, and you will have a book, everyone has to keep to finding the word from the book. But actually you don't need to put all yourself into the book. You just need to try to think something from yourself. And you just code and execute, and you will see the answer. Okay, I think that is the best way to find out how to coding it. Okay, how to coding it. Okay, so that is string. And Boolean, what is Boolean? Boolean, that's just a way to help you to define that is a correct or false. And maybe you can define it as true or false. How to define it? You can use in this way. Like we can try to using the Boolean approach to help us to evaluate this is true or false. Maybe I can ask them, is 10 larger than 9? If this is true, and that will print true. If that is false, they will print the false. Just like this way, I will show you like print is 10 is larger than 9. That is true, right? And the print 10 is smaller than 9. That will be the false. So that is Boolean. Boolean is the easiest the data type because they only record the two things. One is true and other is false. And if you want to record the number, maybe that is a lot of number you need to record it. Okay, so the easily data type will be the Boolean type data type. Okay, so now it's just the three things. Okay, maybe the three things. Numbers, we have integer, floating, and the string, and also the Boolean. So please try to using your Jupyter to try to using these different data type. Okay. So now we will move on to the next part. Okay. So please look at here. And now we needed to understand another data type. The previous data types, that is mainly for a single number or single string. But now you have so many pieces of data. Okay, so we want to using another data type to store it. Okay, so the first one is set. Set is for the unordered, unchangeable. So you have so many different pieces of the data. We can use in the set to store it. But we needed to notice that is unordered. Later we will have an ordered one and a changeable one. Okay, so set is unordered. And for example, we can use in this approach, student set. And we want to store three things. One is classmate, and other is daddy, mommy. That is because the Cheung Kong University student always using daddy and mommy on the card. So we just have these three variables on here. Okay, and you need to notice that when we're using the set, okay, we will using the curly bracket. Curly bracket is 大括号. That is curly bracket, and each term we're just using the double quote and the single quote to quote it, and just we have the three variable in there. So that is the set, and other is list. List is have the order, and that is changeable. That means maybe we have the different list, and we can store it. Okay, for example, we can using the square bracket, okay, square bracket, and to including the different variable, like also the 111, 112, 113, and so we can put the three things in our list. But when we wanna change it, we can change it. For example, maybe I wanna change the 111 become the 115, so I can change it. And maybe I wanna delete 112, that is also approved. And if today I wanna add another list item, that is also okay. That is also okay. So that is the list. And the last one is tuple. Tuple. And the tuple is just using the round bracket. Round bracket. So this thing is older, but is unchangeable. So the Python will help us to memorize the sequence, but they cannot change anything. Okay, so all the variable will be the fixed one. Will be the fixed one. So now, do you remember which one is older and changeable? Which one is older and changeable? List. And which one is unolder and unchangeable? Set, right? And the tuple is here. So really complex, right? No worry, I will give you a figure. Just here. Okay, you only needed to notice this one. You needed to memorize this figure. Okay. So you will see that is older and unolder. And if today you wanna have a changeable, you will use in the list. So now maybe before we understand this structure, this logic, we needed to think when we will using the tuple. What kind of the data? What's the scenario we will using the tuple to help us to record a series of the data? What kind of the data and what the scenario we will use the tuple? Anyone can tell me? What kind of data is unchangeable? Do you still have the breath? Okay, I just really worry about you. Student ID unchangeable, right? And still have other things?
Birthday.
Birthday is unchangeable, yes.
If people are honest.
Yes, if people are honest. Any other?
No time.
What?
No time.
Huh? Oh, blue type. Okay. Any other? Blue type. Sometimes this will typo or something. I'm not sure. Any other? Phone number. Phone number will change. Which we just change another telephone service providers. Maybe we will change the phone. Like our ID number. Sometimes that, right? So if we find out this scenario, we will use in the tuple. This will help us to save the memory. Save the memory. But if say we're using the list, that will waste a lot of the space to record all the data. Okay, because we needed to make sure that can revise it, that can use it. Okay, so that is just a 3D. Okay, so the curly bracket and the round bracket, that's just using the different brackets and to include in the data. Okay, so now maybe you can try to type in these things: grades, ID number, and my course. Just like I can go to here, I will show you. I can do these things, and the ID number, and my course. I have the three things in here. And when I wanna code them, grades, that will help us to call our grades variable, right? So that is really easy, really easy. If you already defined it, and we can use it after that. Okay, so now it's your turn. Please try to understand the set, list, and the tuple. Move on the next part, just how to change it. Just in here is when we wanna using the list, this kind of the data type is because we wanna change the number, right? So how to change it? We can use in this way, like append and insert. What's the difference? If today you're using an append, if you're using a append, maybe that will put the end of the list. So if I put the classmate, daddy, mommy, and I wanna using the classmate list with append, that will include in a new one, parent, becomes our fourth one, right? So I can go to here to show you, like, we wanna using the list, right? Just like NCKU list is daddy and your mommy and classmates. Okay. And we wanna using NCKU list append. We wanna including the new things like your parents. And we will print the NCKU list. So you will see the parent becomes the last one in the end of our list, right? So that is append. That is append. Another one is insert. Insert, this thing is we will put in a specific class. Okay, for example, if we here is 1, we will put the parent in the index 1. What is index 1? We needed to notice one thing. In the computer science world, everything will start from 0, right? So this index, classmate index is 0, index 0. Daddy is index 1. Mommy is index 2, right? So if today I wanna make sure the parent will become the index 1, what is our result? What's our sequence? Classmates, parents, daddy, and mommy. Okay, so we will try. Maybe I wanna put another thing is NCKU list, insert. I wanna put in 1. What's 1? Maybe we can put the grandpa. Okay, so we wanna print it. Sometimes I also saw the grandpa on D card. Just so confused with that. So we can print it. You can see this one. The index 1 will be grandpa, right? So the index 0 will be daddy, grandpa, mommy, classmates, and parents. So that is just our familiar NCKU. Okay, so that is append and insert. So now maybe I just want to introduce you these two functions, and you can try to use in these two functions and try to enjoy your changeable list. Okay, try to change your list. Okay, please look at here. We will move on the next section. So we already know how to add the list item, and now we also wanna remove the list item from our list, right? So here is remove one. Remove one, that can divide into two approaches. The first one we can use in the remove. Remove, you can just tell the truly data, what's the value you wanna delete it. Okay, just the value. Maybe it's daddy or classmates, all the things we can remove it. Another is pop. Pop, we just told them the index number. So if today the 0, the classmates will be deleted. The 1, the daddy will be deleted. Okay, so we can go to the Jupyter. And I using the NCKU list remove. And we wanna remove maybe daddy. Just kill the daddy. And the NCKU list, you can see this one. We already removed the daddy. And if today you wanna change another one is pop. So we can give a specific index. Like I wanna delete the parent. So that is which one? 0, 1, 2, 3. So I can put the 3 in here. So that will help us to pop parent out. Okay, so that is remove and pop. Okay, please try to use it. And now we will keep going. So please look at here. We will enter into the next part. So now you already know these three things. We just try to organize our collections of the data. Okay, we can use in the different 3 data type to organize all the data, right? And now I want to introduce you the last one. It's dictionary. Dictionary in Chinese we will say 字典, right? So that means we can put the 2 things. What's the 2 things? One will be the key, another will be the value. For example, maybe you needed to find out what is 成功大学's English. Okay, so 成功大学 is just like your key. And the value will be National Cheng Kung University. Okay, so that will be the pairs. So in this pair, we have the key and a value. So that will be a dictionary. So like this way, NCKU, in this dictionary, we want to record so many things. Like the name is National Cheng Kung University, and the city is Tainan, motto is something. Okay, we will record all the things. So that will help us to build up a dictionary. And if you want to use it, you just print it. Just like this way, I can put these things in here and enter it. We can see the National Cheng Kung University. But if you want to print our motto, and I can just put motto in here. So just print it. Okay. So in this dictionary, we can record so many things. We can record so many things. For example, maybe you can use in this way to record your product. For example, you want to record your shoes. Okay, that's what's the brand? I can say this is Nike. And what's the size? Maybe this is 9. And what's the color? That is black. So you can record a series of data in your dictionary. And you can have the different key and a different value. That will be the pair. And in each pair, that can have several pairs, just depends on you. Okay? So now it's your turn. You can try to use in the dictionary. That is our last one, our last data type.